What if there is a simple warm drink that you could prepare in your own kitchen in less than 5 minutes using two ordinary ingredients that most people already have at home, that some research suggests may help your digestive system move more freely, reduce that uncomfortable, bloated, heavy feeling in your abdomen, and support more regular, comfortable bowel movements without any harsh chemicals, without any dependency concerns, and without any unpleasant cramping? And what if this same drink has been sitting in the natural world for centuries, quietly working for people who knew about it, while the rest of us were spending money on products from the pharmacy that were doing far less and sometimes making things worse? Stay with me, because today I am going to give you everything you need to know. I am Dr. Weston, and today we are going to talk about constipation and digestive sluggishness in older adults, why it happens, what it is actually doing to your body when it goes unaddressed, and a completely natural two-ingredient warm drink that some research suggests may genuinely help restore comfortable, regular digestive function. In 15 years of clinical practice, I have worked with hundreds of patients in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond who were struggling with this issue and who had either been told nothing could be done or who had been given solutions that created new problems while they were solving the original one. Today, I want to offer you something different. Before we go any further, I want you to drop a comment below right now and tell me honestly, how often do you struggle with sluggish or uncomfortable digestion? Just tell me how many days a week this affects you. I read every single comment personally, and today your answer genuinely matters. And if you have ever tried a pharmacy laxative and experienced cramping or felt you needed to keep taking it to get any result, please add the word dependent to your comment, because that experience is far more common than most people realize. Now, let me start by explaining something about constipation that most people have never heard clearly articulated, because this one understanding changes everything about how you approach it. Constipation in older adults is not simply an inconvenience. It is not just an uncomfortable nuisance that you manage and move on from. When waste material remains in the colon for longer than it should, the bacterial activity in that material produces compounds that can be reabsorbed into the bloodstream. This can contribute to a general feeling of heaviness, brain fog, reduced energy, and a vague sense of being unwell that most people attribute to aging itself rather than to what is actually happening in their digestive system. The physical effort involved in straining during a bowel movement temporarily elevates blood pressure, which is why many cardiologists specifically discuss bowel regularity with their older patients as a genuinely relevant cardiovascular consideration. And chronically slow transit can contribute to inflammation in the lining of the colon over time. None of this is meant to frighten you. It is meant to help you understand that addressing constipation naturally is not a trivial matter. It is a genuine investment in your overall health and well-being. I have a patient I want to tell you about, a wonderfully independent 74-year-old woman named Helen, who came to see me after years of what she described as her stubborn stomach. Helen had been taking an over-the-counter laxative almost every day for nearly 3 years. It worked, but she knew something was not right about relying on it so heavily, and she had begun to notice that the cramping it caused was getting worse over time. When Helen and I sat down together, I explained the approach I'm going to share with you today. She was skeptical at first. 2 kitchen ingredients in a warm drink sounded too simple to her. But Helen committed to trying it consistently for 3 weeks alongside the lifestyle adjustments I will describe later. At her follow-up, she told me something I hear regularly from patients who make this change. She said she had not needed the pharmacy laxative once in the previous 2 weeks. Her digestion had found a rhythm she had not experienced in years, and the cramping that had become her normal was simply gone. Helen still uses the warm drink every day because she told me it has become one of the most enjoyable parts of her morning routine. The 2 ingredients at the heart of what I want to share with you today are fresh ginger and fresh mint. 2 plants that have been used in traditional medicine across multiple cultures for centuries, and that modern research has begun to explain scientifically in genuinely interesting ways. Let me tell you what each one does, and then explain why combining them creates something particularly effective for digestive health. Ginger root contains active compounds called gingerols and shogalls. These compounds have been observed in some research to support digestive motility, which is the technical term for the rhythmic muscular contractions that move food and waste through the digestive tract. Think of your digestive tract as a long tube with muscular walls that squeeze in coordinated waves from one end to the other, gently but consistently pushing content along its path. This wave-like movement is called peristalsis. In younger people, peristalsis is generally vigorous and efficient. As we age, the muscular contractions tend to become somewhat slower and less forceful. This is one of the primary reasons why constipation becomes more common with age. The ginger compounds in this drink may help support and encourage these natural contractions, essentially giving the digestive system a gentle, consistent nudge to keep things moving as they should. Ginger also supports the production and activity of digestive enzymes, which are the biological tools your body uses to break down food efficiently. Better digestion earlier in the process means less work for the lower digestive tract and more comfortable overall digestion. Some research also suggests that ginger has natural anti-inflammatory properties that may help calm irritated digestive tissue, which is particularly relevant for older adults whose digestive lining may have accumulated some irritation over years of dietary choices and stress. Now let us talk about mint. Mint contains a compound called menthol, which has been studied for its effects on the smooth muscle tissue that lines the digestive tract. Some research suggests that menthol may help relax spasms in the digestive muscles, which is particularly valuable when the issue is not just slow movement, but also uncomfortable cramping, bloating, and the sensation of trapped gas that so many people experience alongside constipation. Think of the ginger as the gentle encourager that says keep moving, and the mint as the calm soother that says relax and let it flow. Together, they address two of the most common components of digestive sluggishness simultaneously, one encouraging movement and one reducing the tension and spasm that makes that movement uncomfortable. But wait, because what I'm about to tell you now is something that most people who try ginger or mint on their own never fully understand, and it explains why this specific combination works better than either ingredient alone. When ginger stimulates digestive motility, it is essentially encouraging the muscular walls of the digestive tract to contract more actively. For some people with existing spasm or tension in those muscles, this increased activity without the relaxing effect of the mint alongside it can actually feel slightly uncomfortable initially. The mint provides the complementary relaxing effect that makes the ginger's motility supporting action smooth and comfortable rather than forceful. They work together in a genuinely synergistic way. The combination is gentler, more comfortable, and more effective than either ingredient used independently. Pro tip number 1. The way you prepare this drink matters significantly, and most people make a critical mistake that reduces its effectiveness. Do not pour actively boiling water directly onto fresh ginger and fresh mint. Boiling water at 100 degrees destroys many of the volatile essential oils in fresh mint that are responsible for a significant portion of its beneficial effects. Instead, bring your water to a boil and then allow it to rest for approximately 2 minutes before pouring it over the ingredients. This brings the water temperature down to roughly 85 to 90 degrees, which is the ideal range for extracting the beneficial compounds from both ginger and mint without destroying the most fragile ones. This single preparation detail makes a meaningful difference to the quality of what you are drinking. Here is how to prepare the drink. You need a piece of fresh ginger root, approximately 2 centimeters in length, 1 generous tablespoon of fresh mint leaves, and 250 milliliters of water that has been brought to boil and allowed to rest for 2 minutes as described above. Peel the ginger by scraping it with the edge of a teaspoon rather than a knife. This prevents wastage of the flesh closest to the skin, where many of the active compounds are concentrated. Slice the peeled ginger into thin rounds, approximately the thickness of a coin. Thinner slices increase the surface area in contact with the hot water, which improves extraction of the beneficial compounds. Place the ginger slices and mint leaves into your cup or mug. Pour the appropriately cooled water over the ingredients. Immediately cover the cup with a small plate or saucer. This is critically important, and most people skip this step. The essential oils in fresh mint are volatile, meaning they evaporate readily with steam. If you leave the cup uncovered, a significant portion of these oils will escape with the steam before you drink them. Covering the cup traps the steam which condenses back into the liquid, returning the essential oils to the drink. Leave covered for 5 full minutes. Strain the drink to remove the ginger and mint. If your stomach is comfortable with it, a small amount of pure honey can be added for taste. Drink slowly and with enjoyment. For best results, prepare and drink this twice daily, once after breakfast and once after your evening meal. Most people notice a reduction in abdominal heaviness and bloating within the first 24 hours. Within 72 hours of consistent use, most people find that bowel movements become more comfortable, more complete, and more regular. The key word in that sentence is consistent. This drink works by supporting your digestive system's natural rhythm over time, rather than forcing a sudden reaction the way harsh laxatives do. Tell me in the comments right now, do you already use ginger or mint in any form for your health? And have you ever tried combining them? I genuinely want to know, and your comment might encourage someone watching who has been hesitant to simply try. Now let me address something important about how this natural approach compares to other common options that people use for constipation, because I think understanding these comparisons helps you make genuinely informed choices. Harsh stimulant laxatives work by forcing the muscles of the colon into strong, involuntary contractions. They are effective in an acute situation, but they are not designed for regular daily use. With repeated use over time, the colon can become somewhat dependent on these external signals, gradually losing some of its natural ability to contract on its own. This is the mechanism behind what many people experience as needing to take more and more laxative to get the same result. The ginger and mint approach works in a completely different and far more respectful way. Rather than forcing the colon into artificial contractions, it supports and encourages the digestive system's own natural motility signals. It works with your body rather than overriding it. Fiber supplements can be very helpful, but they have one critical requirement that is often overlooked for older adults. They need to be taken with a generous amount of additional water. Soluble fiber absorbs water as it moves through the digestive tract, and if sufficient water is not present, it can actually make constipation worse rather than better. For older adults who commonly experience reduced thirst sensation and may already be mildly dehydrated, this requirement can be genuinely challenging to meet consistently. The ginger and mint drink contributes to fluid intake at the same time it delivers its digestive benefits, which is an advantage worth noting. Pro tip number 2. The timing of when you drink this matters in a way that most people never consider. Drinking it immediately after a meal is more effective than drinking it on an empty stomach. Here is why. The digestive system has a natural reflex called the gastrocolic reflex. When the stomach begins receiving food, it sends signals to the colon to prepare to move its existing contents forward to make room. Drinking the warm ginger and mint drink at this same moment essentially works with that natural reflex rather than in isolation from it. The warmth of the drink itself also supports this process, as warm liquids have been observed to stimulate gastric movement more effectively than cold or room temperature liquids. Now let me talk about the lifestyle factors that make the biggest difference alongside this drink, because the drink is genuinely effective, but it works best as part of a broader approach to digestive health. Hydration is the single most important factor in digestive regularity, and it is the one most consistently underestimated by older adults. The digestive system needs adequate water to keep the contents of the colon moist enough to move easily. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, the colon extracts more water from its contents as a conservation measure, which makes those contents harder, drier, and more difficult to pass. The challenge for older adults is that the thirst mechanism genuinely becomes less reliable with age. You can be meaningfully dehydrated without feeling thirsty. This means the most effective strategy is to drink water at scheduled times throughout the day rather than waiting for thirst to prompt you. A glass of warm water first thing in the morning before anything else, the ginger and mint drink after breakfast, water with lunch, another glass in the afternoon, and the ginger and mint drink after your evening meal gives you a meaningful, consistent fluid framework without requiring large volumes at any single moment. Physical movement directly supports digestive motility. The muscles of the abdominal wall that surround your digestive organs provide physical massage-like stimulation to those organs when you are active. Walking, even at a gentle pace, activates the core muscles, and encourages peristaltic movement in a way that prolonged sitting does not. A 15 to 20-minute gentle walk after your main meal of the day is one of the most consistently effective lifestyle habits for digestive regularity, and it has the added benefits of supporting cardiovascular health, blood sugar management, and mental well-being simultaneously. If walking is difficult for you, gentle seated movements, rotating the torso from side to side, gentle abdominal breathing, or any form of movement you are able to do comfortably will provide some of the same benefit. Establishing a consistent time each day to sit quietly in the bathroom, even when you do not feel an immediate urge, is something that many people find surprisingly effective. The digestive system responds well to routine. The gastrocolic reflex that we discussed earlier is strongest in the morning after waking and after the first meal of the day. Sitting in the bathroom at the same time each morning after breakfast, allowing yourself 5 to 10 minutes of calm, unhurried time, trains your body to expect and prepare for this moment. Over time, this routine consistency can meaningfully improve the regularity and ease of bowel movements. Pro tip number 3, never ignore the urge when your body sends it. This is one of the most consistently overlooked contributors to chronic constipation, and it is entirely within your control to address. When the natural signal that it is time for a bowel movement arrives, responding to it promptly allows the process to happen at the moment of optimal readiness. Repeatedly suppressing that signal because the timing is inconvenient gradually desensitizes the relevant nerves and can contribute to the signal becoming weaker and less reliable over time. Treating that signal as a priority when it arrives is one of the most respectful and effective things you can do for your long-term digestive health. Now, I want to address some important cautions because while this ginger and mint drink is natural and gentle, there are specific situations where some care is warranted. If you take blood-thinning medication, please discuss adding regular ginger consumption with your prescribing doctor before beginning. Ginger in therapeutic amounts has mild natural blood-thinning properties that in some people taking anticoagulant medication may need to be considered in the context of their overall treatment. This is not a reason to avoid ginger categorically, but it is a reason to have a brief conversation with your doctor first if this applies to you. If you have significant acid reflux or a hiatus hernia, start with a smaller amount of ginger in your preparation, perhaps half the amount suggested, and observe how your stomach responds. Some people with significant upper digestive sensitivity find that ginger in larger amounts initially increases their sensation of warmth or mild acidity. Starting gently and building gradually allows you to find the amount that is comfortable for your specific digestive system. If you experience any of the following alongside your constipation, please see your doctor rather than managing it with home remedies alone. Blood visible in the stool or on the tissue, unexplained significant weight loss, severe abdominal pain that wakes you at night, or a very sudden dramatic change in your bowel habits after a long period of consistency. These are symptoms that deserve professional evaluation rather than home management. Let me now give you a clear, practical summary of everything we have covered today and a simple action plan you can begin this evening. The ginger and mint drink works by combining ginger's natural support for digestive motility with mint's natural ability to relax digestive spasm and tension. Together, they address two of the most common components of constipation in older adults simultaneously in a gentle and body-respectful way. Prepare it twice daily after breakfast and after your evening meal. Use fresh ingredients, appropriately cooled water, and always cover the cup during the 5-minute steeping time. Support the drink's effectiveness with consistent hydration throughout the day, gentle daily movement, particularly after meals, and a consistent bathroom routine each morning. Within 24 hours, most people notice reduced abdominal heaviness and bloating. Within 72 hours of consistent use, most people experience more comfortable and more regular bowel movements. Over 2 to 3 weeks of consistent daily practice, most people find this new rhythm has become established and self-sustaining. Your digestive system is one of the foundations of your overall health and well-being. When it functions well, you have more energy, clearer thinking, better mood, and a lighter, more comfortable sense of physical ease throughout the day. When it is sluggish and uncomfortable, those effects radiate through everything. You deserve to feel comfortable and light in your body every single day. This simple 2-ingredient drink prepared with a little care and taken with consistency, may be one of the simplest and most rewarding investments in your daily health that you ever make. In my next video, I am going to talk about 5 specific foods that some research suggests may actively support digestive health and regular bowel function in adults over 60. Foods that you can easily include in your daily eating starting this week. You are not going to want to miss that one, so please make sure you are subscribed and have your notification bell turned on. If this video gave you something genuinely valuable today, please share it with someone you care about who has been struggling with constipation and has been relying on harsh pharmacy solutions without understanding there is a gentler and more natural option available. That share could make a real difference to their daily comfort and quality of life. Remember, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Always consult with your personal doctor before making any changes to your health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a health tip. See you in the next video.